Okay, we shall then. Good evening, brethren. Okay, so welcome to Sunnyside Lodge's virtual installation. So I give you Worshipful Ed Medina for the for the initial start of our installation. So Worshipful Ed.
Brethren and friends, please welcome into the virtual lodge the master and installing officers.
Our distinguished guests, brethren and friends, good afternoon. I would like to start by welcoming our installing team. It is my pleasure to introduce our installing chaplain, Worshipful Mario Camantigue, our master of ceremonies, Worshipful Ed Medina, and our installing officer, Worshipful Joby Rivera.
Brother Master of Ceremonies, are the officers of this lodge lately chosen, present, and ready to be installed in their respective offices?
They are within the virtual lodge, worshipful sir, and await your pleasure.
Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will read the names and offices of the brethren present to be installed.
Worshipful Brother Serrano, worshipful master. Brother Aviva, senior warden. Brother Esber, junior warden. Brother Sanchez, treasurer. Worshipful Brother Ponce, secretary. Brother Madela, chaplain. Brother Suarez, assistant secretary. Brother Castanero, junior deacon. Brother Rocha, marshal. Brother Salcedo, senior steward. Brother Santiago, junior steward. Brother Bilbao, organist. And Brother Broas, Tyler.
In accordance with the teachings of our institution, it is our duty, before entering upon any great or important undertaking, to invoke the aid and blessing of God. Let us, therefore, reverently unite with our chaplain in address to the throne of grace.
Let us pray. Great architect and ruler of the universe, we reverently invoke thy blessing at this time. Grant us thine aid in our present undertaking, that all we may do shall be done with an eye single to thy service and to the good of Freemasonry. May those who are now about to be invested with the government and conduct of this lodge be endued with wisdom to instruct their brethren in their duties, and may they be continually guided by the unerring counsel which thou hast given in the great book of nature and revelation. May brotherly love, relief, and truth always prevail among the members of this lodge. May they be impressed with a comprehension of their duty to thee and to each other, that this lodge may be the means of lasting good in this community. And to thee we shall ascribe all the honor and glory. Amen.
Let it
It be. Flag. the flag. Kindly repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance
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 to the flag
to the flag of the United States of America
America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic for which it
which
stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Worshipful sir, the officers of this lodge lately chosen are present and ready to be installed in their respective offices.
You will then present the brother who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Broas, who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge.
Brother Broas, you have been appointed Tyler of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel and implement of your office. As the sword is placed in the hands of the Tyler, to enable him effectually to guard against the approach of cowans and eavesdroppers, and suffer none to pass or repass, except such are duly qualified, so should it admonish us to set a guard over our thoughts, a watch at our lips, and post a sentinel over our actions, thereby preventing every approach of every unworthy thought and deed, and preserving consciences void of offense towards God and man. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the organist.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Bilbao, who has been appointed organist of this lodge.
Brother Bilbao, you have been appointed organist of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. The lyre is the jewel of your office, and as it is an emblem of music, it should continually remind us that as harmony is essential in the liberal art and science which it symbolizes, so should harmony continue to be the strength and support of all societies, especially of ours. Let harmony prevail. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the senior and junior stewards.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brothers Salcedo and Santiago, who have been appointed senior and junior stewards of this lodge.
Brothers Salcedo and Serran and Santiago, you have been appointed stewards of this lodge, and I will now instruct you in your duties. In olden times, Your province was to superintend and provide for the festivals of the craft, to assist in the collection of dues and subscriptions, to keep an account of the expenses for refreshments, and to see that the tables were properly supplied and every brother suitably provided for. In modern times, however, the provision for actual refreshment has diminished, and your principal function will now be to prepare candidates for admission and to perform those duties which Masonic customs has assigned to you on days of procession. Receive the jewel of your office together with the white rods. You will now repair to your respective places. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the marshal.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Rocha, who has been appointed Marshal of this lodge. Sorry.
Brother Rocha, you have been appointed marshal of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel and symbol of your office. The baton is an emblem of command and is sufficiently significant of your duties. You will, under the direction of the master, take charge of all processions of the lodge, and you are enjoined that the proper performance of many of our ceremonies will depend upon the manner in which your duties are discharged. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the junior deacon.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Castanero, who has been appointed Junior Deacon of this lodge.
Brother Castanero, you have been appointed deacon of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. Those jewels indicate that it is your province to attend upon the master and wardens and act as their proxies in the active duties of this lodge. You, Brother Junior Deacon, to carry messages from the senior warden in the west to the junior in the south and elsewhere about the lodge as directed. Attend to all alarms at the door and see the lodge duly tiled. Those rods, my brothers, distinctive of your office, will now be entrusted to your care. And now, believing from your past deportment in the lodge that your duties will be discharged with ability and zeal, I dismiss you to your respective place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the Assistant Secretary.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Suarez, who has been appointed Assistant Secretary of this lodge.
Brother Suarez, you have been appointed Assistant Secretary of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. My brother, that single quill fan signifies that it is your duty to assist the lodge secretary in the discharge of the important duties of his office, and in his absence or inability to see them faithfully executed. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the chaplain.
Worshipful Sir, I present to you for installation Brother Madela, who has been appointed chaplain of this lodge.
Worshipful brother, that holy book which adorns our sacred altar is the great light in Masonry, and forever sheds its benignant rays upon every lawful assemblage of free and accepted Masons. Teach us from its life-giving precepts. Invoke upon our labors the blessings of that divine being whose infinite goodness it so fully reveals to us, and guide us by its lessons of wisdom and truth, and you will have faithfully fulfilled your important trust. It is your duty to perform those solemn services which we should constantly render to our great Creator, and reverently to allure to brighter worlds and lead the way. And thus, by elevating our thoughts, strengthening our virtues, and purifying our minds, prepare us for admission into the society of the blessed in the realms of life and light eternal. It is fitting that an emblem of the sacred volume should be the jewel of your office, and with it, you will now be invested. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the secretary-elect.
Worshipful Sir, I present to you for installation Worshipful Brother Ponce, who has been elected Secretary of this lodge.
Worshipful Brother Ponce, you have been elected Secretary of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. I am persuaded that in your hands the pens will make an enduring record not only to your praise, but also to the welfare of this lodge. It is your duty to observe the will and pleasure of the worshipful master. Keep a faithful record of all things proper to be written. Transmit a copy of the same to the Grand Lodge when required. Receive all monies from the brethren. Pay the same to the treasurer, and take his receipt therefore. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the treasurer-elect.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Sanchez, who has been elected treasurer of this lodge.
Brother Sanchez, you have been elected treasurer of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. The keys have a twofold significance. They are instrument to bind as well as to make loose, to make fast as well as to open. They will never, I am confident, be used by you in any other manner than that which the Constitution, laws, and regulations of the lodge shall direct. You are to receive all money from the secretary, keep a just and accurate account thereof, and pay the same out by order of the worshipful master with the consent of the lodge. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the junior warden elect.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Esber, who has been elected junior warden of this lodge. This certificate vouches for his proficiency.
Brother Esber, you have been elected junior warden of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your station. The plumb, my brother, admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations, to hold the scales of justice in equal poise, to observe the just medium between intemperance and pleasure, and to make our passions and prejudices coincide with the lines of our duty. To you is committed the superintendence of the craft during the hours of refreshment. It is necessary, therefore, that you should practice moderation and discretion in the indulgence of your own inclinations, and that you carefully observe that the means of refreshment are not converted to improper or excessive use. Your regular and punctual attendance is particularly requested, and I have no doubt that you will faithfully execute the duty which you owe to your present appointment. Look well to the south. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the senior warden elect.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Abiva, who has been elected senior warden of this lodge. He is of good morals, true and trusty, and as he is a lover, and as he possesses the love and confidence of his brethren, this certificate vouches for his proficiency.
Brother Abiba, you have been elected senior warden of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your station. The level, my brother, demonstrate that we are descended from the same stock, that we partake the same nature and share the same hope, and that although distinction among men are necessary to preserve subordination, yet no eminence of station should make us forget that we are brethren. For he who is placed on the lowest spoke of the fortune's wheel may be entitled to our regard, because a time will tell, a time will come, and the wisest know not how soon, when all distinctions save out of goodness shall cease, and death, the mighty leveler of human greatness, reduce us to the same state. Your regular attendance on our stated meeting is essential. In the absence of the master, you are to govern the lodge. In his presence, you are to assist him in the government of it. I firmly rely on your knowledge of masonry and attachment to the lodge for the faithful discharge of the duties of this important trust. Look well to the west. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will now present the brother who has been elected to discharge the important duties of the master of this lodge.
Worshipful sir, I take pleasure in presenting to you worshipful Brother Serrano, who has been duly elected to serve as master of this lodge.
Is it known that worshipful Brother Serrano is well skilled in our ancient craft? Is he zealous in his regards for the interest of our order? And is he duly qualified to discharge the special duties of the master's chair?
It is well known that he is all this, worshipful sir. The certificate vouching for his proficiency is evidence that he is well skilled in our ancient craft. I find him to be of good morals, true and trusty, and as he is a lover of the fraternity, I doubt not that he will discharge his duties with fidelity and with honor.
Worshipful sir, the brethren of this lodge, reposing confidence in your integrity, in your zealous regard for the interest of masonry, and in your ability to discharge the duties of the master's chair, have chosen you to occupy that honorable position during the ensuing year. Are you willing to accept this important trust?
I am.
Then, my brother, I shall most cheerfully proceed to install you in the dignified and honorable position to which the suffrage of your brethren has called you, not doubting that the dignity of the Oriental chair will be well preserved in your keeping, and that the interest and welfare of this lodge may be safely confided to your charge. Before commencing your investiture, however, it is necessary that you should signify your assent. to those ancient charges and regulations which point out the duties of the master of a lodge, and which on no account are ever to be neglected or departed from. They are as follows. You agree to be a good man and true, and strictly to obey the moral law. You agree to be a peaceful citizen and cheerfully to conform to the laws of the country in which you reside. You promise not to be concerned in plots and conspiracies against government, but patiently to submit to the decisions of the Supreme Legislature. You agree to pay a proper respect to the civil magistrate, to work diligently, live creditably, and act honorably by all men. You agree to hold in veneration the original rulers and patrons of the Order of Masonry and their regular successors, supreme and subordinate, according to their stations, and to submit to the awards and resolutions of your brethren, when convened in case consistent with the Constitution of the Order. You agree to avoid private piques and quarrels, and to guard against intemperance and excess. You agree to be cautious in carriage and behavior, courteous to your brethren, and faithful to your lodge. You promise to respect genuine brethren and to discountenance impostors and all dissenters from the original plan of Masonry. You agree to promote the general good of society, to cultivate social virtues, and to propagate the knowledge of the art. You promise to pay homage to the Grand Master for the time being and to his officers when duly installed, and strictly to conform to every edict of the Grand Lodge or General Assembly of Masons that is not subversive of the principles and groundwork of Masonry. You admit that it is not in the power of any man or body of man to make innovations in the body of Masonry. You promise a regular attendance on the committees and communications of the Grand Lodge, on receiving proper notice, and pay attention to all the duties of Masonry on convenient occasions. You admit that no new lodge should be formed without permission of the Grand Lodge, and that no countenance should be given to any irregular lodge or to any person clandestinely initiated therein, being contrary to the ancient charges of the order. You admit that no person can be regularly made a Mason in or admitted a member of any regular lodge without previous notice and due inquiry into his character. You agree that no visitors shall be received into your lodge without due examination and producing proper vouchers of their having been initiated in a regular lodge. These are among the ancient charges and regulations of free and accepted Masons, and to this your assent must be freely given. Do you submit to these charges and promise to support these regulations as masters have done in all ages before you?
I do.
Then, my brother, in consequence of this assurance and with full confidence in your capacity and zeal, I will now install you again Master of Sunnyside Lodge number 577, Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will invest him with the jewel of his station. The square, my brother, is an emblem of morality. And as it is the special badge of the master's office, it should constantly remind you that not only by precept, but by example, you should promote good morals among the brethren, and thus endeavor to avert the shadow of any scandal or reproach against the fraternity. Your former life has given evidence that this jewel will not be an unmeaning symbol in your hands, and I solemnly charge you to take good care that its luster be not dimmed through any act of yours. I now present to you the Book of Holy Writings. It is the great light in Masonry and should ever be the great law of the brotherhood. It will guide you to all truth. It will direct you to eternal happiness, and an attentive regard to the divine precept it contains will ensure you success in the fulfillment of the duties you are now about to assume. The working tools of our craft will next be presented to you, that, as the master workman, you may instruct the craftsman in the various duties and virtues which they have been selected to illustrate. The square teaches us well to regulate our every action and to let our conduct be governed by the principles of morality and virtue. The compass teaches us to limit our desires in every station and never to suffer our passions or prejudices to be the masters of our judgment. The rule directs the undeviating discharge of our duties, that we should press forward in the straight path of right and truth, without inclining to the one hand or the other, in all our doings, having eternity in view. The plum is an emblem of moral rectitude. It teaches us to avoid all dissimulation and to pursue that honest and upright course in life which will tend to our elevation in the higher realms of immortality. There are still other important things which you will receive in charge. This book of constitutions, you are expected diligently to search and from time to time to cause its contents to be read in your lodge, that none may remain ignorant of its precepts it enjoins, or of the ordinances which it promulgates. This book contains the bylaws of your lodge, which it will be your special duty to see carefully and punctually executed. And this is the charter, under the authority of which your lodge is held, and which you are carefully to preserve and duly transmit to your successor in the master's chair. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will conduct the Master to his station in the east. Worshipful Master, I congratulate you on your ascension to this time honored seat. The duties incumbent upon you in your exalted station are fraught with grave responsibilities. Remember that the honor, reputation, and usefulness of your lodge will materially depend upon the skill and assiduity with which you manage its concerns, and that the happiness of its members will be generally promoted in proportion to the watchful care with which you cherish the genuine principles of our institution. For a pattern of imitation, consider the great luminary of nature, which rising in the east regularly diffuses light and luster to all within its circle. In like manner, it is your province to spread and communicate light and instruction to the brethren of your lodge. Forcibly impress upon them the dignity and high importance of Masonry, and seriously admonish them never to disgrace it, and charge them to practice out of the lodge those duties which they have been taught in it, and by amiable, discreet, and virtuous conduct to convince mankind of the goodness of this institution, so that when a person is said to be a member of it, the world may know that he is one to whom the burdened heart may pour out its sorrows, one to whom distress may prefer its suit, one whose hand is guided by justice and whose heart is expanded by benevolence. In short, by a diligent observance of the bylaws of your lodge, the constitutions of Masonry, and above all, the Holy Scriptures, which are given as the rule and guide of your faith, you will be enabled to acquit yourself with the highest honors here and lay up a crown of rejoicing which shall continue when time shall be no more. Brothers Senior and Junior Warden, you are too well acquainted with the principles of Masonry to warrant any distrust that you will be found wanting in the discharge of your respective duties. Suffice it to say that what you have seen praiseworthy in others, you should carefully imitate, and what in them you may have appeared defective, you should yourselves avoid. You should be examples of discretion and propriety, for it is only by a due regard for our laws and regulations, as shown in your conduct, that you can expect obedience to them from others. In absence of the master, you will succeed to higher duties. Your requirements must therefore be such as will ensure proper instruction to the craft. From the spirits which you have hitherto evinced, I entertain no doubt that your future conduct will be such as will merit the applause of your brethren and the testimony of a good conscience. Brethren of Sunnyside Lodge number 577, Please rise. My brethren, such is the nature of our Constitution, that as some must of necessity rule and teach, so must others, of course, learn to submit and obey. Humility in both is an essential duty. The officers who have been chosen to govern your lodge are sufficiently conversant with the rules of propriety and the laws of the institution to avoid exceeding the power with which they are entrusted. And you are too generous of disposition to envy their preferment. I therefore trust that you will have but one aim, to please one another and unite in the grand design of promoting happiness. Finally, my brethren, as this association has been formed and perfected in so much unanimity and concord, so may it long continue. May you long enjoy every satisfaction and delight which friendship can afford. May kindness and brotherly affection distinguish your conduct as men and as Masons. Within your peaceful walls, may your children's children celebrate with joy and gratitude the annual recurrence of this auspicious solemnity. And may the tenets of this profession be transmitted through this lodge, pure and unimpaired, from generation to generation. Worshipful Master, it now remains for me to present to you the gavel, the emblem of power. In the hands of the Master, it may be made the instrument of great good or of greater evil. With it, the Master governs his lodge, and the welfare and prosperity of your lodge, in a great measure, depend upon its judicious use. In your hands, I am confident it will be wielded for the best interest of your brother Master of Ceremonies. You will now make proclamation.
By order of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of free and accepted Masons of the state of California, I proclaim the officers of Sunnyside Lodge number 577 to be duly installed.
All the brethren will, under the direction of the Master of Ceremonies, salute the worshipful Master by the battery of 3 times 3.
Together, brethren.
Worshipful Master,
Yes, worshipful.
behold your brethren. Brethren, behold your Master.
Good evening, brethren.
Good evening, worship.
For now, let us proceed to introductions. First, we will go to our Tyler, Brother Bert Broas. Brother, you may introduce your wife this time.
Introduce ang wife, hindi naman nakapokus yung camera.
There you go.
Hi, Ateng.
Good
Good evening,
evening.
Ateng. You don't have sound, Brother Bert.
It's frozen.
Is frozen. Okay, let us proceed to the next one. I'm not sure if he has somebody to introduce, but Brother Organist, Brother Rob Bilbao.
Nope, I'm quarantining myself.
All right.
It's just me.
Mhm.
Hello.
Next is our junior steward, Brother Ronnie Santiago.
Yes, worshipful. Here's my loving wife.
What's her name?
Hello,
Nina.
Hi, Sister Nina.
Hello, sister.
She's not hearing us.
Hello, Sister Nina.
Hi
They-
po.
Sino po sa ano? Kita na po sa... Sino po kita na sa TV?
Thank you for being here, Sister Nina.
You're welcome po.
You're welcome.
Next one is our senior steward, Brother Wesley Salcedo.
Good evening, worshipful. Good evening, brethren. Here's my wife, Marge.
Hi po.
Hello, Ate Marge. Hello, Sister Marge.
Hi, Worshie.
Thanks for being here, Sister Marge. Okay, next is our brother Marshall, Brother Guillermo Rocha Jr.
Hey, worshipful.
Please introduce your wife if she's available.
She is here. This is my
Hello.
other half, Janet.
Hi, sis.
Hello, Sister
Good
Janet.
evening, Sister Janet.
Hello.
Congrats, worship, brethren. Miss all of you.
Hola.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, sister.
No worries.
Next, our junior deacon, Brother Arthur Castaneto.
Worshipful, I'm sorry, my wife is at work.
Oh, that's right. I said that a while ago. Okay. Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Next is our assistant secretary, Brother Manny Suarez.
Good evening, brethren. My wife is not around.
Okay. All right then. Our chaplain, Brother Rene Mandela. Please introduce your wife. You have no sound, brother.
Mute. Okay, my lovely wife, Ophelia.
Hello po.
Hello, Sister.
Hi, Sister Ophelia. Thank you for being here.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sis.
Hey,
Next is our secretary. Do you have anybody to present today?
Worshipful. None.
you can grab anyone.
Camera shy. Sorry, brethren.
Okay, no secretary. Next is our treasurer, Brother Roland Sanchez. Unmute.
Congratulations, everybody. Did you see my wife, Carla?
Congratulations.
Hi, Sister Carla.
Hello, Carla.
Hello, sis.
Thank you for being here. Next is our junior warden, Brother Bobby Esber.
Good evening, worshipful masters and my fellow brethren. Also congratulations to the installed officers. This is my beloved Lori.
Hi, Sis Lori.
Hi,
Thanks
Sister
for
Lori.
being here.
Congratulations.
And our senior warden, Brother Chris Abiba.
Yes. Sister Mylene.
Hello there, Sister Mike.
Brethren.
Hello, Ateng Maylene.
Hello.
Thank you for being here, Sister Mylene. I'm next.
Last but not the least.
I would like to introduce my smart and lovely wife, Susan.
¿Dónde está?
And also I have our two sons here, Mark and Christian. This is Christian, and this is Mark right here.
Okay.
They are both
Wow.
computer engineers now.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ateng.
Much obliged.
All right. Next is I would like to introduce our installing chaplains, Worshipful Mario's wife, Cora. Is she there, Worshipful?
No, she's not available.
Oh, okay. Thank you anyway, Worshipful. Next one is our Master of Ceremonies, Worshipful Ed's wife, Sister Liz.
Worshipful, we're trying to continue the social distance.
Oh. All right then.
Congratulations, Worship.
Thank you, Worshipful. Finally, I'd like to introduce our installing officer, Worshipful Joby's wife, Sister Len.
Come here. Just Philip, a little bit right here. Hello.
Hi, Sister Len.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Everybody, congratulations. And hello, Ates.
Hi,
And,
Sister Len.
to our guests who joined our installation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Worshipful.
Worshipful sir, second time around.
Next is I would like to acknowledge the past masters of Sunnyside Lounge 577. I am very grateful for your being here tonight. I don't know how to find you here. It's very hard to do it.
How about the presence of Worshipful Ray Villegas?
Worshipful Ray Villegas. Worshipful Mario.
Lawrence Solomon is also here, Worship.
Worshipful Lawrence Solomon.
Worshipful Ray Harold is also on.
Worshipful Ben Ponce, he's also a pastor.
Worshipful Ray Harold, Worshipful, newly installed Master of Mission Lodge 169.
Oh, Worshipful Ray Harold, right?
Congratulations, everybody.
That's correct.
Congratulations, worshipful. Thank you. Congratulations to all. Congratulations, worshipful.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else I missed?
Worshipful Mel is also with us today.
Worshipful
Yes.
Mel Nadalo.
Congratulations, Worshipful Monserrano. Congratulations also to the Lodge 577. This will be the normal now. We will see everybody in Zoom. Hopefully we'll meet again. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you.
And Worshipful Steve Barbosa is also with us today also.
Oh, Worshipful Barbosa, thank you for being here.
Also worshipful Santiago.
Worshipful Marlon Santiago is also online. And
Worshipful Marlon.
Is that it? Yeah, that's Worshipful Stan.
Yeah, congratulations, Worshipful Mon, and to all the officers of Sunnyside Lads number 577. Congratulations.
Thank you, Worshipful.
Thank you, Worship.
Na-impact niya bigat.
Worship.
Worshipful
And Worship Stan is also online, Worship Stan.
Oh, Worshipful Stan Nokon is here?
Yes.
Yeah, he's there.
Thank you, Worshipful Nokon.
And our Worshipful Bong Aguila is also watching on his car.
All right, Worshipful Aguila. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
And Worshipful Creighton is also on.
Worshipful Creighton. Worshipful Creighton. Thank you. Okay, I guess that's it. Give them a big hand.
Marlon is there too. I saw Worshipful Marlon Santiago.
Yeah, tapos na siya. Okay. Do we have any concordant bodies members here I would like to acknowledge?
And Worshipful Sian Yu is also on.
Worshipful Sian Yu, of course. He is our video coordinator. And Worshipful Bong.
I saw Emmanuel Dominguez.
Congratulations, Brother Eman, on your baby.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I said it already. Okay.
If he wants his ears to be up.
You do it. He moves it already. Look at it. He moves it.
My turn to say little remarks. Please mute everyone.
Any presentations?
After my remarks, Worshipful, I will try not to talk too long. You know, they say it's best to leave your audience before your audience leaves you. Our installing officer, Worshipful Joby Rivera, and Master of Ceremonies, Worshipful Ed Medina. Our installing chaplain, Worshipful Mario Camantigue. Brethren, guests, good evening.
Good evening.
First, I would like to thank our installing team for a great job of installing all the officers today. Secondly, I would like to thank all the brethren who have elected me unanimously again and putting their trust in me to be the master of Sunnyside Lodge 577 for the second time, and also for accepting their positions, old and new, to serve the lodge for this Masonic year. Without dedication to the craft, I believe that we are going to continue to have yet another great year. Last year, I said that the strength of the fraternity depends on the brethren's unity. And I still believe that to be true this year. You might ask, why? Well, last year, COVID-19 came and our lodges were shut down, thus preventing us to meet physically at the lodge. But we did what we can under the circumstances. We continue to connect with each other through email, cell phone calls, and texts, social media like Facebook, Messenger, and Zoom. We stayed in touch by greeting each other on our birthdays, anniversaries, graduations of our kids, condolences, and other things through Facebook and Messenger. We have practiced charity by passing the hat and helping some of our brothers' families in time of their financial need through Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle, which of course paid off better than when we were at the lodge physically, which was awesome. Without observation about passing the hat, I'm not saying that having a pandemic is better. What I'm saying is next time you do pass the hat in the lodge, maybe do it by using Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle. I think it's better. And we stayed in touch and had some kind of fellowships through Zoom, like we are doing now. The lads also continue to practice charity supporting the Masons for Myths and the Shriners Hospital for Children. The lads also participated with several other lodges, like Toy Drive during the last Christmas season, which was very successful. That's the reason why I still say that the strength of the fraternity is strong, because we stayed united, and even in the face of the pandemic. This year, I have been given the honor and privilege to serve as master of this lodge for the second time. And it is my intention to continue to rule and govern this lodge to the best of my ability, as I have done last year, with the help, of course, of the officers and all the brethren. As master this year, I plan to lead the lodge to continue doing our community and charitable activities. I wish that the pandemic will be over soon, so that we can continue to develop friendships across lodges by holding annual gatherings for meals and picnics, shared degree works, and holding joint special events between the lodges in our Masonic district, number 636, headed by our inspector, Worshipful Ed Medina. To all the past masters, current Worshipful masters, and brethren from other lodges and guests who took their precious time to be here for this important and special virtual event, I thank you all very much. To our video coordinator, who is instrumental in making this event possible and successful, Worshipful Sean, thank you very much. To the ladies group of Sunnyside Lodge 577, their families and friends, thank you for your continued support and for being here today. Finally, I would like to thank my smart and beautiful wife, Sun, for her full support and understanding of me on becoming master of the lodge again. I know that I'm a great speaker. I can say that because when I make a speech, as soon as I sit down, people say it was the best thing I have ever done. Thank you all for listening and for being here today. Now let us proceed to presentations. I would like to present these kids to our installing team. I have one of each, and also to our video coordinator. I will hand it to each one of you next time we see each other. I think my two sons have a presentation to make before I call anybody.
Pizza.
Yep.
Going summer rice.
All right.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
We're proud of you.
Oh, they gave me a.
It's not really because it's shiny, so it's kind of. It's okay. It's not showing.
Yeah.
It's okay. And there's another one.
Perfume, a
Yeah.
couple of them. So I'm gonna be smelling good all year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations, everyone. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Sweeney.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone else have a presentation to make? Anybody? If not, I'm going to call on our Spectre, Worshipful Ed Medina. Do you have a presentation to make?
Yes, Worshipful. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity, as we all know, it's a tradition, during the installation, the officers, the inspector always appoint an officer's coach for the lodge. So for this year, I would like to appoint Worshipful Mario Camantigue again to be your officer's coach. Worshipful Mario, will you accept?
Yes, worshipful sir.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Worshipful.
And congratulations to everyone, all the officers appointed and elected that were installed, who were installed tonight. Hopefully we get a senior deacon soon. That way, you know, everybody will, you guys will be complete lineup.
Yes,
But
Worship.
again, during these hard times, please stay safe all the time for you and for the other people, for your family. It is going bad, so just, you know, help yourself to help other people, and hopefully this thing will go down and we can see each other again normally in person. It's been a while. It's almost a year next March, but yeah, we don't have any word from Grand Lodge until, of course, until this thing goes down. Especially here in California, it's one of the top states that have a lot of cases. So to minimize it, just do diligence. You know, do your part. If you have a mask, wear, you know, always wear a mask. If you have a face shield, please, you know, do so. It won't just protect you, but it'll protect others. So that's all my message tonight. And again, congratulations. You guys did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Worshipful.
Worshipful Mon, I have a presentation for the junior warden. It's okay?
Yes, sure.
Okay, I think it's a tradition of our lodge to pass, you know, the key to the next junior warden. So I'm giving him the key to our kitchen for the next for the ensuing year. Brother Bobby, here's your key. I'm giving it to you now.
Thank you, brother.
Well, I'll give it to you when I get to see you. So for now, I'll just take care of it for now.
Okay. Thank you, Brother John.
All right. Thank you, Worshipful.
Welcome.
Keep it in your pocket, Brother John.
Yeah.
Okay, at this time, let us proceed to benediction. Brother Chaplain. Unmute. There you go.
Supreme Ruler of the universe, now that we are about to separate and return to our respective places of abode, will thou be pleased so to influence I forget.
Our hearts and minds.
Our hearts and mind, that we may, it's one of us, practice out of the lodge those great moral duties which are inculcated in it, and with reverence study and obey the laws which thou hast given us in thy holy word. Amen.
Motive B.
Motive B.
Okay. Before we go to fellowship, we need to close the lads.